A strong hold over current affairs is crucial for aspirants to succeed in the UPSC Civil Services examination. Administer your preparation with updated and relevant news with the monthly Current Affairs Revision Program. Starting from 20th September at 5 p.m., the 60 dedicated classes offer detailed topic-wise coverage of important news compiled through authentic sources such as The Hindu, Indian Express, PIB, Yojana among others. Enhance your knowledge with up-to-date contextual understanding of all current affairs, expert support through personal mentoring, assessment through MCQs and mains-oriented questions, doubt-clearing sessions, student portal access.
Hello and welcome to this edition of News Today. Without delay, let's have a look at the headlines first. Andaman and Nicobar Islands capital Port Blair renamed as Sri Vijaya Puram. Rules notified for global navigation satellite system-based electronic toll collection. Indian Institute of Science scientists reported breakthrough in neuromorphic computing. Need of developing and sustaining the indigenous electronic warfare systems highlighted. Conference on International Arbitration and Rule of Law in New Delhi. Government issued guidelines for viability gap funding scheme for offshore wind energy projects. In a historic move, the capital of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Port Blair, has been renamed Sri Vijaya Puram. This renaming honors the Indian freedom movement, as Port Blair was the site where Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose first unfurled the Indian tricolour in 1943, symbolizing India's struggle for independence. It is also home to the iconic cellular jail, a grim reminder of the sacrifices made by countless freedom fighters. The renaming of Port Blair marks a significant step in shedding colonial legacies, while highlighting the contemporary strategic importance of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, which once served as naval base for the Chola Empire. The later Chola rulers Raja Chola and his successor Rajendra Chola played a pivotal role in building a formidable navy. Their aggressive military policies, combined with access to the vast coastline of peninsular India, allowed them to dominate the seas, transforming the Bay of Bengal into what was known as the Chola Lake. This naval power not only facilitated the conquest of neighboring regions, but also enabled flourishing trade with Southeast Asia, aligning with the Cholas' own early Look East policy. Key trading centers like Nagapattinam were established, boosting economic ties and influence across the region. Raja Chola's naval prowess was demonstrated in his significant naval expeditions, where he destroyed the Chera navy at the Battle of Kandalur Salai, ensuring Chola dominance over the seas. He further expanded his empire by invading Sri Lanka, annexing its northern region, and also leading a successful conquest of the Maldives, establishing Chola influence in the Indian Ocean. Rajendra Chola first, his successor, carried this legacy forward by launching a full-scale naval invasion of Sri Lanka, resulting in the entire island becoming a Chola province. He also embarked on a major expedition against the powerful Shailendra Empire, which spanned the Malay Peninsula and neighboring islands, leading to the conquest of key regions in Malay Peninsula and Sumatra. These naval victories solidified the Cholas as the dominant maritime power in the Southeast Asia.
Ahead, let us look at an important update regarding the future of toll collection on our national highways. The Ministry of Road Transport and Highways has notified the National Highways Fee, Determination of Rates and Collection Amendment Rules 2024, and this marks a significant shift in how tolls will be collected across India. Let's dive into the details. These newly amendment rules have been framed in accordance with the National Highways Act of 1956 and introduce key changes to the existing system. Most notably, the amendments bring provisions for GNSS-based electronic toll collection or ETC. This is an important step forward as it updates the National Highways Fee Rules of 2008 by introducing satellite-based tolling technology. Now, what exactly does this mean for drivers on our highways? Well, for starters, the new system will see the inclusion of a GNSS onboard unit or OBO as an option for toll collection. This will be alongside the already familiar automatic number plate recognition device, and the widely used FASTag. There are also some new benefits for highway travelers. For example, mechanical vehicles, except for national permit vehicles, will enjoy a zero user fee for up to 20 kilometers of travel in each direction on national highways, but only once a day. Additionally, an exclusive lane for GNSS-equipped vehicles will be introduced at toll plazas, and non-OBU vehicles using this lane will have to pay double the fee. Eventually, the aim is to replace FASTag entirely with GNSS technology. So how exactly does this work? The system uses satellite-based imaging to track the vehicle's movement, and toll fees are calculated based on the distance traveled rather than fixed rates. This means no more stopping at toll booths, as everything will be done in real time. Let's break down the main components of this system. First, the OBU. This is a GNSS-enabled device installed in the vehicle which will determine the vehicle's route and calculate the toll. Alongside this, ANPR cameras will be installed on highways to recognize the vehicle's number plate and automatically deduct toll fees. Now, what are the benefits of this system? The biggest advantage is the reduction in roadside tolling infrastructure, which can cause congestion and delays. To understand this better, let's compare the current FASTag system with the new GNSS-based ETC. In terms of technology, GNSS relies on satellite-based imaging and ANPR, whereas FASTag uses radio frequency identification or RFID. The equipment needed for GNSS is the OBU, whereas FASTag requires the RFID tag on the vehicle's windscreen. And most importantly, while FASTag operates on fixed rates, GNSS calculates tolls based on real-time vehicle movement. In conclusion, the shift towards GNSS-based toll collection promises a more efficient and streamlined process for drivers, reducing congestion and simplifying toll payment systems on our highways.
In a major scientific breakthrough, researchers at the Indian Institute of Science have developed advanced memristor semiconductor devices using metal organic films, moving beyond traditional silicon-based technology. This cutting-edge material enables memristors to mimic the way the biological brain processes information, using networks of neurons and synapses, bringing us closer to the revolutionary field of neuromorphic computing. So what exactly is neuromorphic computing? This emerging technology, also known as neuromorphic engineering, aims to replicate the structure and functionality of the human brain. It involves designing hardware and software that simulate neural networks and synapses to process information. These systems use spiking neural networks or SNNs, where spiking neurons are connected by artificial synapses, transmitting signals through analog circuitry. This approach encodes data through discrete analog signal changes rather than binary systems used in standard computers, also known as von Neumann computers. The benefits of neuromorphic computing are immense. Its adaptability allows systems to handle new stimuli and solve novel problems in real time. Event-driven computation ensures that only active parts of the system consume energy, making it highly power efficient. By integrating memory and processing into neurons, latency is significantly reduced, offering high performance. Additionally, neuromorphic systems excel at parallel processing, handling multiple tasks simultaneously across different neurons for faster operations. However, challenges remain. The field lacks standardized benchmarks and has limited accessibility, particularly in terms of software. Decreased accuracy in some applications also poses a hurdle to widespread adoption. Neuromorphic computing draws inspiration from the brain's method of information processing. Neurons, the fundamental units of the brain, act as messengers, transmitting chemical and electrical signals between different areas of the brain and body. When a neuron spikes, it triggers the release of these signals. These signals travel via a network of connection points called synapses, allowing neurons to communicate with each other.
In our next news, we'll be discussing a critical aspect of modern military strategy, electronic warfare or EW. Recently, the Spectrum EW conference emphasized the growing need to develop and sustain indigenous electronic warfare systems. With the theme EW, Trends, Technologies and Maintenance Challenges, the conference highlighted EW as one of the key pillars of air strategy. So why is this technology so vital for India's defense? Let's take a closer look. One of the key points raised during the conference was the importance of developing indigenous EW systems. This development, however, cannot happen in isolation. It requires the collective efforts of Indian academia, defense public sector undertakings, and private industries. So what exactly is electronic warfare or EW? In simple terms, EW refers to military actions that use electromagnetic energy to determine, exploit, reduce, or prevent the hostile use of electromagnetic signals like radio, infrared, or radar. EW plays a pivotal role in protecting national security by safeguarding communication systems and intercepting enemy signals. Now let's explore the three major areas of EW. First, we have electronic support measures or ESM, also known as passive EW. This involves intercepting and analyzing electromagnetic signals to recognize threats, gather intelligence, and assist in operational planning. Second, there are electronic countermeasures, which is more of an active form of EW. ECM defends against jamming and deception using cyber and multispectral tools. Its main goal is to protect friendly forces' communications. Finally, we have electronic countermeasures. This focuses on employing electromagnetic signals or directed energy to disrupt and neutralize enemy electromagnetic capabilities. However, as promising as EW is, it also faces significant challenges. One of the primary challenges is the rapid pace of technological advancements. As technologies evolve, EW capabilities need constant updates to remain effective. Additionally, the threat of cyber attacks on EW system continues to be a growing concern. Given these challenges, why is EW so critical for India? India's defense strategy requires robust EW systems to counter advanced threats in the electromagnetic spectrum, especially from nations like China. For example, China's Y9LG electronic warfare platform is a clear indication of the kind of threats that India must be prepared to face. So what steps has India taken to strengthen its own electronic warfare systems? The Shakti EW system provides an electronic layer of defense against modern radars and anti-ship missiles. Meanwhile, Program Sangraha, a joint initiative between DRDO and the Navy, is working to design and develop 5 different types of indigenous EW systems. In addition, the Integrated Electronic Warfare System or IEWS is specially designed to operate in plains, semi-desert regions, and even mountainous terrain. Other indigenous systems include Him Shakti and Samyukta, the latter being capable of performing multiple jamming tasks.
New Delhi is hosting a prestigious Conference on International Arbitration and the Rule of Law organized by the Supreme Court of India and the Permanent Court of Arbitration, in collaboration with the United Nations Commission on International Trade Law. The event marks 2 significant milestones: the 75th anniversary of the establishment of India's Supreme Court and the 125th anniversary of the Permanent Court of Arbitration, a body that plays a pivotal role in resolving global disputes. Arbitration, a key focus of the conference, is a widely recognized form of alternative dispute resolution, alongside mediation, conciliation, and negotiation. In arbitration, disputing parties voluntarily submit their case to one or more arbitrators who deliver a binding decision. This method is known for its neutrality, confidentiality, and efficiency, providing an alternative to lengthy court battles. India's arbitration framework is robust. The Arbitration and Conciliation Act of 1996 governs all forms of arbitration, including commercial dispute, in line with UNCITRAL model law. Additionally, the New Delhi International Arbitration Center Act of 2019 promotes institutional arbitration within the country. The Indian Council of Arbitration also facilitates dispute resolution, operating under the Societies Registration Act 1860. Globally, the PCA was established in 1899 by the Convention for the Pacific Settlement of International Disputes at Hague, of which India is a party. Other major institutions include the International Court of Arbitration, set up in 1923 by the International Chamber of Commerce, and UNCITRAL's model law, which guides international mediation and settlement agreements. At the heart of this conference is the rule of law. A.V. Dicey famously described rule of law as the absolute supremacy of the regular law as opposed to the influence of arbitrary power on the part of the government. It provides level playing field for promoting stability, fairness, predictability, etc. It also supports protection of rights, enforcing contracts, and amicable resolution of disputes.
In a significant move towards boosting renewable energy, the government has issued guidelines for viability gap funding for offshore wind energy projects. This is a critical step in the implementation of the National Offshore Wind Energy Policy, which has been in place since 2015. Now let's break down the key details of this new scheme. The VGF scheme aims to support the installation of 1,000 megawatts of offshore wind energy projects along the coast of Gujarat and Tamil Nadu. Specifically, 500 megawatts will be installed off each coast. The financial outlay for these projects has been set at Rs 6,853 crore, with funding available until the financial year 2031-32. In addition to the wind projects themselves, 2 ports will also be upgraded to meet the logistical demands of this large-scale initiative with a separate outflow of Rs 600 crore. But how will the scheme be implemented? The Ministry of New and Renewable Energy will spearhead the implementation, with Solar Energy Corporation of India Limited serving as the implementing agency. Furthermore, the National Institute of Wind Energy will act as the nodal agency, providing crucial technical support for the installation and commissioning of these projects. Now, if we talk about implementation methodology, then SECI will use a competitive selection process through international bidding, ensuring transparency and efficiency. There is also a green shoe option available, which allows for an over-allotment of 50 megawatts in addition to the planned 500 megawatts, providing flexibility for potential project expansion. So why is offshore wind energy such a promising avenue for India? India's long coastline spanning over 7,600 kilometers with large exclusive economic zones presents significant potential for harnessing wind energy. Offshore wind projects are expected to play a crucial role in helping India meet its ambitious renewable energy target of 500 gigawatts of installed capacity by 2030, addressing the issue of land availability and more. However, like any major project, there are challenges that come with offshore wind energy. The cost per megawatt for offshore turbines is considerably higher than for onshore turbines, primarily due to the stronger structures and foundations required to withstand ocean conditions. There's also the issue of high corrosion and the potential negative impact on marine biodiversity, posing a concern that needs careful consideration. In conclusion, as we continue our transition towards a greener future, offshore wind energy will undoubtedly play a key role in meeting our renewable energy targets and ensuring energy security. In today's Place in News, we will talk about Nigeria with its capital, Abuja. It is in news as the torrential rains and the collapse of Alau Dam has led to the flooding of northeast Nigeria. Talking about its political features, Nigeria is located on the west coast of Africa and is also the most populous African country. It shares its territorial boundaries with Niger to the north, Chad and Cameroon to the east, and Benin to the west. Moreover, it shares its maritime boundaries with the Gulf of Guinea of the Atlantic Ocean in the south. If we talk about its geographical features, then its major relief are Sokoto Plains to the northwest, Borno Plains to the northeast, etc. Its highest point is Chappal Waddi. Its major rivers are Sokoto and Niger, forming Niger Delta draining into Gulf of Guinea. And lastly, its major lake consists of Chad, a freshwater lake at the conjunction of Chad, Cameroon, Nigeria and Niger.
Concluding today's main news, let's have a look at some quick updates. Recently, the 3rd edition of India-US Defense Acceleration Ecosystem Summit concluded in USA. Key highlights of the summit includes release of the IndusX Impact Report and launch of the official IndusX webpage. Ministry of Corporate Affairs cracks down on errant Nidhi companies. Nidhi company is declared by the central government under Companies Act 2013. It complies with the Nidhi Rules 2014 made by the central government for regulation of such class of companies. Securities and Exchange Board of India disposed of proceedings against the National Stock Exchange in the alleged co-location case. Co-location or proximity hosting allows brokers to place their servers on the premises of stock exchanges for a fee. Government introduced stringent regulations under Quality Control Order for enhancing fire safety in furniture for non-domestic use. The central government, after consulting BIS, publishes QCOs in exercise of the powers conferred under the BIS Act 2016, thereby bringing the products under BIS mandatory certification. As per CM Monitor 2024, cluster munition accounted for 93% of global casualties in 2023, with children constituting half of it. These are weapons consisting of a container or dispenser from which many submunitions or bomblets are scattered over wide areas. Recently, a study of the first tardigrade fossil discovered enabled us to classify them and retrace their evolutionary history. They are tiny 8-legged aquatic animals found in almost all habitats on Earth. They can survive extreme environmental conditions like punishing heat, freezing cold, ultraviolet radiation, and even outer space. Scientists from the Wildlife Institute of India studied Assam cascade frogs in 2 Himalayan streams of the Churdhar Wildlife Sanctuary in Himachal Pradesh. Study was conducted to find correlation of different water parameters with the abundance and density of the population of a species. DRDO successfully conducts the first phase of field firing trials of Zorawar tanks. It is a light tank designed to provide the Indian Army with enhanced capabilities at high altitude. It is jointly developed by the DRDO and private sector firm L&T. Before we sign off, let's challenge your understanding in today's installment of Test Your Knowledge. Thank you for joining us. We hope you found this episode of News Today engaging. For the solutions to the quiz and for the PDF version, visit the links in the description below.